So I have an interesting idea. So like talking about trans identified people and like bathrooms and gender and whatever. I think the trans movement as it is right now in like 2025, in the 20s, early 2020s, it's kind of archaic. It's kind of backwards. Hang on. Don't freak out yet. You're going to like this on all sides. You're going to like this. I'm talking about solving this issue because, you have certain people who don't, like, oh, men are men, women are women, like no men in the women's bathrooms, and then you have trans people that are like, look, dude, like that doesn't work for us and we're not going anywhere. So what the fuck? That's a big dichotomy or thing that it literally cannot be resolved. It literally will not be resolved. To solve it for me, just like, so I was just in the bathroom and I was thinking about it. So for example, like with handicap ramps in public places, that's everywhere. Everywhere needs to be handicapped accessible. That's just obvious. Now, if trans people were smart, if the trans movement was smart, they would push for laws that have accessibility for trans people, not forcing trans. Let's get real. The only problem is trans male to female trans in the women's bathroom. That's the only problem. Men don't care about. It's very, very exceedingly rare that female to male trans in the male bathroom is a problem. It could be, but no, that's not really the debate. No one's worried about that. For real. No one's worried about that. Now, instead of like forcing the law to allow trans women into the female bathroom, I think we should have a law that has public establishments offer a gender neutral or unisex bathroom, unisex or gender neutral bathroom, just kind of like the family bathroom or whatever, gender neutral, unisex. Men and women can go, straight men, cis women, anyone can use it. Trans women can use it. Trans women can use it. Everybody in the world can use it. An actual gender neutral bathroom. And go in at your own risk. But that should be like a standard, just like handicap ramps for wheelchairs, handicap accessibility. There should be trans accessibility that doesn't take away from the safe space for cis females who need a feminine cisgendered safe space. Like, okay. Now that doesn't mean that trans women aren't allowed in there. Trans women are allowed into the female cis female bathroom. But just like in a school zone, if any person, or like if anyone, I don't want to say specifically, if any trans woman, but specifically, if you commit a crime, a sexual crime in the cis female gender bathroom or the male one, but come on, we're really focusing on the cis women's bathroom. Let's get real. If you commit a crime in that bathroom, the penalties will be tripled or like 10x'd, right? Just like if you're caught smoking or drinking or lurking or doing sex crimes in a school zone, the penalties go way the fuck up. Or if you kill or injure a worker in a construction zone, the penalties go way up. So I believe that's the solution. Allow trans women into the cis female bathroom, but increase the penalties by like 1 million. Because at that point, if you are one of those rare predator type people and you are in the female bathroom for that purpose and you know you're doing it, yes, you deserve an extra penalty because you are just the scum of the earth and you are breaking the entire code of all society. So yes, let's up the charge to 1 million, and that will de-incentivize these predator people from behaving that way, okay? And that will allow the normal nice, genuine trans women to peacefully use the bathroom. And then, but also if no one wants to rock the boat or whatever, mandate that there is a third gender bathroom, or simply a gender neutral bathroom. You don't got to call it, the trans room. It is like, make it men or women. Cis men are welcome. Cis women are welcome. Trans women are welcome, and trans men are welcome. Everybody's welcome in the gender neutral bathroom. That, I believe, is the solution. And also, just for anyone who's feeling any type of way, do the same thing in the men's room. If there's a trans man, an assigned female at birth trans man who's in the men's restroom predating on anybody, predatoring on anybody, same thing. Absolutely jack up the charges, disincentivize it like hell. Make it like like you're cooked. You are so cooked to the point where like ain't no one doing that, right? And if you do, you're cooked. You're so much more cooked than you ever thought even humanely possible. And you know what? And if you're a business, I can't afford to build a new bathroom. Figure it out, dude. Figure it out. Don't care. Go out of business. I don't care. Figure it out. Create a gender neutral bathroom. Even if it's like the most shabby thing in the world, I don't care. Do it because it's the law. And I think the trans community needs to push for that instead of pushing for all the people, potentially criminals, to go into the women's spaces. We should use the law to push businesses and public establishments to mandate a gender neutral space. That is the only solution. And then up the penalties if you commit a crime in a cross-gendered bathroom. If you are assigned a different sex at birth and you're in the cross-gendered bathroom and you commit a crime in that bathroom, 10x the penalty, straight to jail, no parole, you're cooked. This is the only solution, because trans people are not going away. They're not going away. There doesn't seem to be any good solution. And am I insane? Why am I the only one talking about this? Am I the only one mentioning this? It's such an obviously simple solution. It's not hard. But the trans community needs to push to actually make laws. Actually push for real laws. Instead of just like, crying like equality. Fuck your equality, dude. Focus on the real world and come up with a real solution. We need real solutions to real problems, not just some fantasy of like, it should be. Nah, okay, the world's not that nice. So get over it. Let's do what works. And keep everybody safe. The children, the trans people, cis women, cis men. We want everyone to be fucking cool, everyone to be happy. So if you agree with me, give it a like, give it a share. Bless you.